Welcome to the season premiere. Right now at noon, more violence at a SEPTA station. What we're learning about a sexual assault on the Broad Street line. And Vice President Kamala Harris is making a trip to Atlantic City. We have live team coverage of her speech at the NAACP convention. First, we're tracking a severe storm threat this afternoon. It could be heading your way. Today is July 18th, 2022. Welcome to CBS 3. Eyewitness News at noon, streaming live on CBS News Philly. Let's go straight to our top stories as we take a live view of the Philadelphia skyline this noon. That heat and humidity will go away in a few hours before the storms get here. Here's meteorologist Larissa Abreu to kick us off, as she is in a new weather center entitled The Next Big Thing, which is new for the new season. Go ahead and take it away, Larissa.
Marking not only the chance for heavy rain, but even the possibility for a few brief spin-ups. I'm going to get to that in a moment, but right now I want to start us off with our severe weather outlook. Part of the region has been upgraded to a slight risk for those strong to severe storms, and that's why we have that yellow shade. That is all southeastern parts of the state. Meanwhile, New Jersey still under a marginal risk for those stronger storms to develop later today. We had a warm front move through the region earlier this morning and prime the atmosphere. It is air you can wear out there. It's stifling. The heat and humidity are quite elevated, and we have a couple of individual pop-up storms here out ahead of our cold front that's going to be marching on through as the day presses on. Temperatures later today, 90 degrees. That's our high here in Philly, around 85 along the Jersey Shore. Low 80s if you find yourself up in the Poconos with heavy afternoon, evening thunderstorms on tap for us. And this is our severe weather threat for today. The timing of it all between 4 and 10 p.m. tonight. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's going to be the number one concern. But because there's so much moisture in the air, any one of these storms can trigger heavy rain, and that can lead to flooding. A brief spin-up is not out of the question as well. So when I see you next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at timing, plus our other big story, this heat that's going to be building over the next several days, and we're tracking it's going to be very hot over the next several days. So I'll have more on that in about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Larissa. Stay with CBS 3 for continuing coverage of today's potential for severe weather. Even when we're not on the air, you can always get live updates on CBS News Philly and CBSPhilly.com. In other news here this noon, Kamala Harris is in our region. She's still speaking at the NAACP convention in Atlantic City. Let's head now to South Jersey reporter Brandon Goldner with all the details there. Good afternoon, Brandon.
Of people attending the NAACP's national convention. The vice president is talking about highlighting the administration's efforts and achievements when it comes to civil rights and racial equity, including record HBCU fundraising. At 1 p.m., she will be hosting a roundtable with state leaders on reproductive rights. She's expected to leave Atlantic City around 2:30. A lot of buzz in the air as people were racing down to their seats to get a close-up look at the vice president. We'll be having more information and more on what the vice president said in our later shows. Live in Atlantic City, Brandon Goldner.
All right. I know that you will keep us up to date for sure. Brandon, thank you very much. In other news here, new this noon, Philadelphia police say they are looking for this young man that you see on the screen right now. All that took place at the Snyder Avenue train station in South Philadelphia. So that attack happened at around 4:30 this morning, according to SEPTA police. If you see the suspect, please call 911 and do not approach him. Now to the latest on what happened in Holmesburg. A couple people were found shot and they were taken to nearby hospitals. Ross DiMattei has the latest.
Unidentified black man was shot at least times in the torso and once in the leg. He was pronounced dead shortly before 1:30 in the morning. Just a few hours later, officers found a second homicide victim here, less than 500 feet away from where they found the first one. Police say a man was walking his dog when he came across a shooting victim lying lifeless on the 4600 block of Loring Street. Investigators say the body belonged to a 19-year-old Hispanic man who had been shot once in the head. He was pronounced dead around 4:30 Monday morning. Police say there aren't any suspects in custody yet for either shooting, but there are multiple cameras in the alley where these victims were found. It's still not clear if the two shootings are connected. In Holmesburg, Ross DiMattei, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Uncle Ross. A Philadelphia man is charged with murdering his 96-year-old mom in the living room. Investigators charged Gary Johnson with killing Bertha Johnson. This all happened yesterday on the 4200 block of Houghton Street in Roxborough. We're being told that police did not make any arrests. Meanwhile, in Indiana, a man opened fire inside of a food court on Sunday. That's where 3 people and the gunman were pronounced dead in a local shooting. Stay with CBS 3 for some live updates on the Indiana shooting. Go to cbsphilly.com or stream it on CBS News Philly. Now to the latest on a Southwest Philadelphia homeowner who has a major cleanup ahead today immediately after a driver crashed into the house. As Eyewitness News reporter, my Aunt Waukesha Bailey reports, the homeowner says it's not the first time it has happened. Auntie Waukesha, take it away with your report.
I'm still trying to process this. I just can't believe I'm out here looking at my house like this.
Just after 2 a.m., a car slammed into her Southwest Philly home on Cobbs Creek Parkway, tearing through her sun porch, a porch she's enjoyed for 27 years. But every day she says she's worried about her safety.
They just fly around the parkway like it's a racetrack. One day I'll be out here, and God forbid, I may get hit, or any other person that's walking along this way.
In 2009, the homeowner had these white cement poles installed around her home to protect her property. But she says, unfortunately, it hasn't slowed down drivers.
Since January, there's been at least maybe 4 or 5 accidents in front of my house.
Karen Noble lives just a few doors down. She, along with others, say they reached out to the city to add speed bumps to this busy road, but it didn't happen.
The city won't put these yellow signs out here for the 25-mile thing because cars were getting hit left and right out here.
So much that Thomas says several cars parked outside her home have been hit. In 2015, once again, a car slammed into her home and it flipped over, but nothing compared to this time.
I'll never know when something like this was going to happen.
Waukesha Bailey, CBS 3.
Thank you, Aunt Waukesha, for that update. Still ahead here on Eyewitness News as part of this season premiere, we have lots more news to get to. And all that is going to come right back when we return. Stay with us.